This episode opens immediately after the events of episode 5. Detective Jin Silva races through the streets of Trinity City on his motorbike, chasing the vampire assassin Claudias Lavelle. The pursuit quickly becomes a deadly game of cat and mouse, firing shots and taunting each other as they race through the city. Eventually, both riders drive directly toward each other. At the last moment, they leap off their bikes and collide mid-air. The fight crashes and escalates in the backyard of a recently finished birthday party. Jin and Claudias draw swords and begin a brutal duel. Their blades clash again and again as they trade strikes with incredible speed. Claudias grabs a civilian hostage, but Jin doesn't back down. Instead of hesitating, Jin knocks the hostage free and continues attacking. Jin strikes Claudias with a powerful energy punch. And then, a gunshot rings out. Jin collapses to the ground. Standing nearby is Madame Lyra. Instead of killing Jin, she explains that he could be useful to her. Back at the Remembrance Temple, the situation remains tense. Both Jemanda and Rose are still unconscious. Vin learns about Jin's fight in the city and fears the worst. No one knows if Jin survived. Despite everything happening, Vin takes a moment to speak with Caspar, the young fighter he rescued from the underground match. Caspar thanks Vin for saving him and allowing him to stay at the temple. For the first time, someone openly expresses their gratitude for what Vin is trying to build at the temple. But their moment is interrupted by a surprise visitor. Phoenix Flame arrives. She reveals Rain's wife is still alive. Despite attempts from Evelyn warning him of how dangerous it is, Rain decides to leave the temple and go with Phoenix. Elsewhere, Sylia Cloud continues his orders from Madame Lyra. He is led to a mysterious auction house run by a powerful figure known as the Elder. Sylia interrogates the assistant about a rare necklace connected to recent events. When she refuses to cooperate, he traps her in a force field and forces answers out of her. Satisfied with the information, Sylia executes the assistant. He shows a moment of guilt before leaving. Meanwhile, Madame Lyra continues preparing for the next phase of her plan. She and her agents are searching for an ancient artifact known as the Iron Heart, a powerful relic divided into 3 pieces. If someone manages to reunite them, they could gain enormous power, and Madame Lyra intends to be the one who finds them. At Rufus's compound, Rain finally reunites with Sylia, or what remains of her. Sylia lies inside a protective chalk circle, her body barely alive while a shadow spirit continues possessing her. The spirit refuses to leave. Phoenix explains what happened. After Sylia was sent through the portal, Rufus made a dangerous deal to retrieve her body from the underworld. But the shadow spirit came back with her, and it refuses to let go. While giving Rain a private moment with Sylia alone, Phoenix has a brief reunion with Ara Gong, who has just returned from a contract job. Their exchange is casual at first, the kind of relaxed back and forth only longtime friends share. But there's an unmistakable hint of something more beneath the surface. When Phoenix notices blood on Ara's shirt from the job, he casually pulls it off to change. Phoenix can't help but steal a glance at his physique. Ara notices immediately and smirks, clearly amused by the moment. It's playful, a small spark between them. Nothing spoken out loud, but enough to suggest that there might be something more between the two someday. Later, the reason Rufus is so desperate to save Sylia becomes clear. Sylia was one of the street children Rufus rescued and raised from childhood. He raised her alongside the other kids at the compound, Gunnar and Ara. To Rufus, Sylia isn't just someone he protects. She's family. He sees her as a little sister, and he refuses to lose her again. Rain then recounts the tragic night of their wedding. Shadow spirits invaded the reception and began possessing guests. While both Rain and Sylia were helping people escape, Rain separated from Sylia, and when he found her again, she had been possessed. The spirit forced her to stab herself. She died in his arms, or appeared to. Rufus has blamed Rain ever since. While giving Rain a quiet moment alone to collect himself, Phoenix shares a quiet moment with Rufus. Rufus, who has watched the dynamic between her and Ara since they arrived, speaks bluntly. He tells Phoenix it's obvious she cares about him, but warns not to expect more. In Rufus's eyes, Ara is damaged by the life he's lived, a man who doesn't really know how to love anyone. Phoenix takes his words seriously. She admits that maybe she'd been romanticizing the idea of something more, and decides it's better to simply value Ara for what he already is to her, a loyal friend. What Phoenix doesn't realize is that Ara is sitting nearby, quietly listening to the entire conversation. The words clearly affect him. He doesn't interrupt, but the look on his face suggests Rufus may not know Ara quite as well as he thinks. As a last resort to save Sylia, the group summons an ancient witch doctor known as Shiko, a powerful entity who trades miracles for terrible prices. Shiko appears and immediately recognizes the shadow spirit inside Sylia. Rain offers his own life in exchange for Sylia's freedom, but Shiko refuses. The sacrifice must be completely selfless. Rain's offer comes from guilt, and guilt is not enough. Rufus makes Rain face a difficult reality. To Rufus, Sylia isn't just Rain's wife. She's one of the street children he raised, family he's protected since childhood. So Rain makes a promise. If Rufus can save her, he'll walk away and leave Sylia alone forever. Before they can continue the negotiation, gunfire erupts outside the compound. Madame Lyra's forces have arrived. A fight breaks out as armed attackers storm the compound. Rufus's people fight desperately to defend their home. During the battle, a familiar face joins the fight. The man who attacked Vin outside of the underground fight match and was kidnapped has now joined Madame Lyra, and his name is Zico Matthias. Just when the defenders begin to lose ground, reinforcements arrive. Evelyn and Caspar rush into the compound and join the fight. Zico moves through the battlefield with brutal efficiency. Eventually, he encounters Caspar. The two face off in a brutal one-on-one fight. Caspar fights back with everything he has, refusing to back down. But Zico proves far stronger. In a devastating moment, Zico breaks Caspar's arm, leaving him badly injured and on the ground. Zico tries to take Caspar, in an attempt to recruit him, telling him someone like him could be useful. But before he can escape with Caspar, Enver interrupts. They got what they came for, and they need to leave now. Zico abandons Caspar and retreats with the others. While the attackers flee, Evelyn spots something that freezes him in place. He sees Enver Sky, his brother, the brother he believed was dead. The two lock eyes for a brief moment across the battlefield. Then Enver and the rest of his team make their escape. Inside the compound, Rufus makes one final desperate deal with the witch doctor Shiko. This time, he raises the price, and Shiko accepts. The shadow spirit is violently forced out of Sylia's body. Moments later, Sylia awakens, weak but alive. Rain rushes to Sylia's side, but Rufus reminds him of the promise he made. Rain understands his sacrifice and walks away. Outside, the battle finally ends. But the victory comes at a terrible cost. During the chaos, Madame Lyra's forces have captured Phoenix Lane. Ara desperately tries to stop them from leaving, but can't catch up to the van. Ara collapses in the street, helpless as Phoenix is taken away.